Good afternoon, everyone. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about the current situation that is facing the Universidad Pedagógica Nacional regarding the general problem of access to education and the financial problems that is facing the public education in Colombia. In fact, as most of the people know, during the last days, the Universidad Pedagógica Nacional was in a strike period. However, that has a fair reason. In fact, the problem is regarding to the money spent on the public institutions of upper education. However, in order to give you the most important ideas of the strike and the reasons of that, I'm going to try to explain what about the strike, what was the reason, the principal reason, and my point of view. In fact, the strike was developed because of Ser Pilo Paga policy. What is Ser Pilo Paga? Ser Pilo Paga is a government policy that, in theory, is going to help a number of poor students to access to the upper education. In fact, that's not so bad. However, most of the people think that Ser Pilo Paga is a program that is giving the people a complete scholarship. However, that's not completely true. In fact, Ser Pilo Paga is a program that gives the people a credit for studying in an upper education institution. What does it mean? It means that the student who has that benefit must have a very good performance, a very good promedio in all the assignments in order to catch that benefit and retain it. Of course, a person who has that benefit is very intelligent, very smart, and that's not the problem. The problem is the decision of the students of studying in a private institution, but not in a public institution. What does it mean? It means that if, for instance, we have a number of 100 students, around 97 are going to choose to study in a private institution. Meanwhile, just 3 are going to choose studying in a public institution. In fact, the government is going to spend a lot of money, a lot of money in private institutions. Meanwhile, the amount of money spent in public institutions are going to decrease. It's going to be much more less. Of course, that creates a big gap in the conditions, in the quality of the private education in respect to the quality of the public education. That gap is affecting the structure of the buildings, of the places, of the public universities. As we may know, we as students of Universidad Pedagógica Nacional have seen during the last days in the winter period that our buildings are not in the best conditions. In fact, we saw the buildings flood and the green spaces completely damaged because of the rain. That is the main reason why the students decided to develop a strike in the campus of the Universidad Pedagógica Nacional in order to ask the government for more money spent in the public education. In fact, the strike, the protest is not so bad. I agree with the protest. That's my point of view. However, we have to be analytic in the way of which that was developed. Firstly, as I said before, I agree with the protest. However, I disagree with the way in which that was developed. Firstly, the building's blockade. As we may know, during the last weeks, all the buildings of the Universidad Pedagógica Nacional were completely blocked. That means that you are going to be compelled or obliged to go to the assemblies or meetings of students in order to talk about that situation. And that's not so bad. It's a kind of responsibility as students to go to that meetings. However, if somebody is going to oblige you, that is going to be against your free will, of course, and your will is going to be completely damaged, it's going to be completely ignored. You're going to be forced to go there. And that creates a horrible atmosphere in order to argue, in order to talk about that problem. Secondly, with relation to the first point that I taught, there had been an attack between students who agree and who disagree with the way of developing the strike, and also an attack of the students to the teachers who are trying to develop their classes in different spaces. As we know, a part of the teachers were agree with the strike, and they were helping the students to perform that strike. However, other teachers were trying to develop their classes on the green spaces, on the yards. And that, in my point of view, is completely respectful. However, a number of students decided to attack that teachers by asking for photos. I don't know what was the reason of that. I suppose that is a kind of cyberbullying to the teachers who were trying to have class. And that is problematic too. Finally, I have an analytic and very critical perspective regarding to the violent actions developed in the middle of a strike. I know that a protest is very difficult to be performed through pacific actions. However, it is not impossible. The protest is going to be heard, is going to catch attention of outsiders if it is creative. I'm not against the parades. Perfect. If the students decide to have a parade in the middle of a street, I have no problem. Go ahead, do it. However, a parade in the middle of a street doesn't mean that the students are going to attack the police or are going to paint the bank's facades or other universities' fences or walls, as the action that happened in the Javeriana University. It is completely contradictory that if the students of Universidad Pedagógica Nacional are struggling for the respect of the public education, a number of students are disrespecting other institutions. In fact, my point of view is that we must not attack our system. We must see for the way of developing ourselves inside that system, not to change it, to develop ourselves in that. Because the reality is that the university is facing a hard situation, but we must not attack ourselves or attack others. We have to look for the way of improving our situation. by doing creative protest ways as the use of papers in order to inform the people or create other visual aids in order to catch the attention of the outsiders, catch the attention of the government, because that is the important fact in the protests. That is the important fact in order to improve the situation of the Universidad Pedagógica Nacional. I think that we have to struggle for our alma mater, for our university. We have an opportunity, an only opportunity. I think it is necessary to struggle for the spaces, for the public education, in order to have educated people in the future. However, my last sentence, my conclusion is that we have to struggle for the future, but being conscious on the present. Thank you.